this week we're gonna go, or this month we're gonna go over lots of programs, summer programs, shadowing, all the other extracurricular programs besides just regular volunteering that you guys heard about. Obviously, with COVID, things have changed. But before we get to that, we have a couple of updates. So, yeah, we're going to get started.
Okay, so for the mentor-mentee program, so the assignment 2 has already been sent out. The mentors are complete assignment 1, and then I'll be working on making sure that everybody gets their MD points for their assignment 1. So if you were interested in the mentor-mentee program, either being a mentor or a mentee, and you didn't get the chance to apply, so you still have a chance next semester. We will be opening up the program again. So if you want to become a mentor, you want to become a mentee, this will be a really great opportunity for you to do so. So make sure I'll send out information later on, starting next semester, about when that opens. So that's it for that.
Hey guys, so Apps 101 wise, feedback, I gave everyone feedback who submitted their pre-writes this past weekend, and hopefully I'll get back all the employment activity sections by this coming weekend. And the next assignment is due on December 2nd for those who are in Apps 101. In terms of mentorships, I've been working on getting the Texas A&M student mentorship program going, and the medical student I was talking to is actually very helpful, and he's been very interactive. So we're hopefully going to get this off the ground very soon. And TCOM also, you can look up for that next semester.
Hi, also the fundraising committee completed their first fundraiser for an organization called Pencils of Promise, and we raised funds for providing education for children in third world countries. We were able to raise over $1,600, so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who donated, because it really means a lot, and also to like the committee members who worked super hard and was able to raise this much money. And if you were following the fundraiser, then you probably knew that we did an Amazon gift card giveaway, and those winners have already been announced. So yeah, thank you so much. And be on the lookout for our next fundraiser, which we will probably announce sometime next week.
All right. So our MCAT workshop number 2 is going to be this Saturday, November 7th, from 2 to around 3:30, maybe 3:45, because we do have a lot of information to cover. It's going to be on Zoom, so I'm going to send the Zoom link on our general group meet. And also, there's a QR code on this slide. If you go ahead and scan that, fill out that Google form, and put in your email, I'll actually send you guys a direct link to that Zoom call as well on Friday evening. But yeah, the topic for this session is going to be resources, both resources that you can pay for as well as free resources out there for prepping for the MCAT, planning a schedule, and I'll actually show a sample schedule, the one that I use to study for the MCAT, and we'll talk about all the elements that you can use in your own, and also staying motivated during this whole 3 to 4 months of MCAT preparation. I'm super excited about this workshop, this information. I think it's going to be really, really helpful to a lot of members. So definitely, if you are one of these students who are about to start prepping for your MCAT, or is maybe in the middle of their MCAT preparation and you need a little bit more advice, I highly recommend attending this session. But yeah, see you guys there.
Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. So I just wanted to briefly mention that we will be having a roundtable, our second roundtable and last one for the semester. It's going to be on the week of November 16th. So our topic is a very important and relevant one for the healthcare industry. It's big pharma and the opioid crisis. So as you guys probably know, drug prices and access in the US is very difficult for a lot of people. People can't access, basic drugs like insulin for their health conditions. So it's definitely a very important issue that needs to be tackled. And along with this, the opioid crisis, because it's affected millions of people, and addiction is a serious issue that has only recently been recognized and treated much more by the healthcare community and in the US broadly. So we wanted to just touch on that. I think it'll be really great if you guys can come. It's an amazing opportunity just to be able to have a serious conversation about, issues that matter, to develop your opinions. And I think it'll really help just build your confidence for interviews, talking to professors, just important, communication. So yeah, I'd love for you guys to come. You'll get 2 MD points for joining. It's going to be one of our last opportunities to get points for the semester. So I highly recommend if you're able to join. And don't worry if you feel like you're not really informed. If you don't feel that confident about it, I will be sending out materials for you guys to read, and everyone is absolutely welcome. So yeah, please make sure to fill out the availability form that we sent in the past email.
Also, as a quick update, I know it's not mentioned on the slide, but for reading partners, we actually finished our group sessions. So for those students who actually attended both group sessions, that's awesome. Within, I guess, a week, you should receive an email from the coordinator of reading partners themselves, and follow those instructions, and you guys will actually be able to start volunteering with students, which is awesome. Anyone else who probably didn't attend those sessions but still wants to actually participate and serve as a volunteer, you definitely can. Just go check out their website, and all the instructions are over there. Also, as a little preview of a future volunteer event, it's still in the works, but we are trying to get in contact with nursing homes and retirement homes and set up a virtual volunteer event where we can lead these virtual sessions where you can play games with the elderly, or I think you can lead like yoga sessions too. I think that was one of the examples. It's still in the works, and I'm definitely trying to get more contacts for that. But hopefully that volunteer event is going to be set up, I think, by spring semester. So stay tuned for that.
All right, hey everyone. So this is a new, not really a program, but a new venture that we wanted to start. It's the Molding Doctors podcast. And like it says on the slide, we'll do this once a week, and it's just how a regular podcast sounds like. It won't be live, but we will post it on our YouTube channel so you can view it and listen to it on your own time. We'll try to do it once a week. And that QR code leads to like a interest form, seeing if you will listen to it, as well as if you want to come on the podcast and be a guest speaker. This is a chance for you guys to get to know us, whether you come on the podcast or not, as well as continuing like Insta Live discussions and like leadership topics, as well as numerous topics, both medical and non-medical. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. And this isn't on the slides, but as far as MD points go, we'll post a deadline when we are cutting off, or we'll post the final MD points for this semester. And even though this is our final meeting, we will still have lots of other programs and like the MCAT workshop later on Saturday, and obviously the fundraising committee is also active. But yeah, even though it's the last meeting, there's still a lot of things to keep up with. So just make sure to check our emails, website, and group. All right, so we're going to get started with the topic of this meeting, which is all of our programs. We're going to talk about research, shadowing, internships, everything that that you want to explore. Once again, because of COVID, we try to update this as much as possible, but please look at their websites, as more information is probably changing every day. But yeah, we'll get started.
Hey guys, yeah, so these are just a couple of research programs that are offered around Texas that you can apply to and like spend your summers there doing research. So the first one that we have is Baylor Smart, and it's through the Baylor College of Medicine and down in Houston. And so basically it's a nine week like research program, and you get paid as well, and you get to do research in biomedically relevant fields. So for the summer semester of 2021, it's actually the application will be due on January 10th. So you can go to the link right there, and that should be updated. So it should have all the information about the program and when to apply. In addition, there's also the University of Texas Health Sciences Center at Houston Summer Research Program, and this is through the McGovern School of Medicine in Houston as well. And so this is very similar. This is a 10-week program, and they have 2 programs actually, and you can kind of decide which one you want to go into based on your research interests. And so the application period for this one runs from December 1st through February. And then finally, there's also the MD Anderson Cancer Research Program called the Undergraduate Research at Science Park. And so you can always look these up on the links. I know I'm saying a lot of stuff, but these links will take you exactly to the program and the information about it. But it is a 10-week program. You have a stipend included as well, which is awesome. And it is cancer and genomics research. So I think Kevin will talk about the next 3 programs.
Yep. So for the next programs that we have Brandeis Summer Research at Brandeis University. It's a 10-week program over the summer. Once again, they actually do provide a stipend. They also cover housing and I think meal allowances as well. But more about the research program, it's actually covering over 70 different disciplines. You'll be partnered with a faculty researcher, and he or she will be kind of your mentor for the entire program as you work on your own independent research project, which is really, really cool. So yeah, if you're interested, click that link. There are a list of requirements and eligibility stuff as well. And then I think there's also a link to the application as well. So definitely check that out. We also have neuroscience research at the University of Texas Health San Antonio. Actually, if you click that link and go on to the tab programs and then click the undergraduate summer program, there's actually more than just neuroscience research. I believe there's cancer research, immunology research, there's research when it comes to renal and also pharmacology as well. All of these are summer programs, and they are slightly different from each other, but they are great opportunities if you're interested in any one of those fields as well. UT Southwestern Medical Center also offers their own SURF program, Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship program. This is once again over the summer. It's 10 weeks program. There's a $4,000 stipend. Most of these do have stipends, but it's just more of an incentive if you are really interested in learning more about this field and maybe interested in obtaining a PhD or an MD PhD sometime in the future. It definitely is great. And the best part is UT Southwestern is literally right around the corner. It's really close to us. Lastly, we did write TEMRAP. I want to mention TEMRAP is different from the other programs in 2 ways. One, it is more clinical research than it is like basic science lab research. But that's not a problem. It's definitely something very useful to learn and have on your application for med school. The second thing is TEMRAP is actually not over summer. But we did mention this. Why? Because it is offered as a course here at UT Dallas. So I believe the link for the application is closed right now because it just got over for next semester. But for the spring semester next year, it should open sometime in the fall. The link that we provided actually links you to the TEMRAP page on HPAC's website. Definitely, visit that every now and then over winter and in the fall to, be in touch with the updates and to see if there's any new changes to the program. But really with TEMRAP, it's clinical research at Parkland ER. You're going to be meeting with a lot of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare providers as you interact with patients and work on multiple research projects at the same time, which is really, really interesting. And I'm actually a part of the program, and I can say it's super fun. So definitely, if you're interested in research or want to, learn more about any and all of these programs, definitely check out these links. It's a great opportunity. They're all great opportunities.
One last thing that we wanted to mention that's not on the slide is the Green Fellowship Program. And so this is a program also through UT Southwestern. And so you get to, instead of taking classes for a semester, you will do research at Southwestern for a semester. And so it's a really great opportunity to, and you actually get to choose various different fields, like Kevin was saying, for the other programs, you get to do the same for the Green Fellowship. So it's a great opportunity to kind of explore different research fields, explore like if you are interested in maybe getting like a PhD or just want to get more experience in research, it's a great opportunity. Yeah, okay, so there's also a bunch of hospital volunteering programs and shadowing programs that allow like us as pre-medical students to kind of spend time in the hospitals. So there's the Presby Serve program, which is a 13-week long volunteering and shadowing program at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas only. And so this one, unfortunately, is not accepting applications for 2021, as you all may understand because of COVID. And same with Parkland Academy Career Observation Program. This is kind of nice because they actually offer multiple levels of observation that you can do. You can either do like a 1 to 2 day observation, or you can do maybe like a couple of weeks, or you can do it for over a month, or even longer. So you get to kind of choose that. Unfortunately, they also are not offering any application or accepting any applications for this upcoming year. But still look out for that if you are interested in observations. As COVID kind of tempers down, they may start opening these up again.
Also, just a little bit on the Parkland Ellie Feldman Collegiate Fellows Program. That's also at Parkland. It's a paid summer job, and it's really for any student who's interested in pursuing a career in healthcare. The deadline is going to be February 1st. I'm looking at the website right now to see if that has changed at all. But definitely, type this in on Google, go to the website, and stay up to date with all the updates. But just a little bit more about this. It's even though this is at a teaching hospital, they do mention it's not like clinical experience, nor is it shadowing, but it is a great way to network and get in contact with a lot of doctors and other healthcare providers and professionals, and get their advice, and also get to see how the hospital really works on a day-to-day basis. So definitely it's a great opportunity for any student who is interested in healthcare.
And obviously there is still virtual shadowing. We mentioned it a lot of times. So in the meantime, while you're waiting for something in person, make sure to check out virtual shadowing.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about a couple of pre-health immersion programs that are available for pre-health students. So a lot of these are really amazing opportunities where you get to go for a summer and just kind of explore what the medical field looks like, from professors, doctors, and it's specifically designed to immerse, underclassmen who may not be as familiar with the medical field. So it's a very, hands-on educational type of program. So there's a couple of different of these. And the first one is the Summer Health Professions Education Program. And this is popular with UTD students. Our last president actually attended it and she loved it. So we know for sure that it's a really great program. I think HPAC just sent an email about it. So next year, it is going to be virtual, but for those of you who want to be safe and might not want to travel next summer, this is a really great option. The application is already open and the deadline will be in February. And yeah, it's really cool. You get to go through different simulations, just more clinical types of experiences. And then there's a couple more of these. Depending on the program, some are more of shadowing doctors, others are more academic. So they'll provide you with MCAT workshops and, just to familiarize yourselves with medical information and education. So over here, I have listed a couple that will be going on despite COVID. So the only one that currently doesn't have updates with the COVID situation is the Texas Tech University program, but the other ones should still be going on. And a lot of these programs do try to focus on individuals who come from disadvantaged backgrounds or, racially marginalized groups. So it's definitely really great. You also get funding. So make sure to look out for these. There's still a couple of months to apply. Okay, so with study abroad, I know that's kind of tricky right now. A lot of you may, be a little apprehensive of traveling abroad next summer, depending what the situation looks like. But if you are open to it, there are options for you. I know that Atlantis, which is a really great shadowing program that a lot of pre-med students at UTD have done in the past. One of our officers, Varsha, has, so you can ask her any questions or email us. But you basically get to go abroad and choose a place and a hospital, and you get to shadow a certain specialty of your choice. So I know Varsha got to go to Spain and she shadowed psychiatrists there as well as OBGYNs. And if you're looking to learn a certain language, medical Spanish, for example, then it's a really great opportunity for you. Unfortunately, I don't think any of these faculty-led study abroads are happening next summer, or so far they haven't really given updates if it's happening, but definitely keep these in mind. Study abroad is an amazing eye-opening experience for you, both personally and just in terms of knowledge or pre-medical information. So I went for the Oaxaca program in Mexico last summer, and it was a very holistic experience. I got to learn about public health, politics, and history in Mexico, and of course Spanish. So it depends. If you're looking for a pre-med focus program, the one in Spain is really great. You get to go in the ER, and you also get EMT training. But if you're looking kind of for other social aspects of healthcare and learning about different cultures, there's other options for you too. And then, of course, you can always look online for third-party study abroads. And then there's Global Brigades. They do a lot of trips where they raise money and you get to go and help communities. So, these are opportunities that you can afford. And of course, you can get scholarships for the study abroads too.
I just wanted to add on the Global Brigades part. Global Brigades is like a club at UTD, and they're doing like a virtual version this time. And they're calling it Telebrigades. So you kind of get the same experience. And it's over winter break. I'm not really sure if you can still sign up, but you can just DM Global Brigades on Instagram and they'll let you know. I know I'm signed up for it, and like it's a lot cheaper than actually going there. I think it's like a couple hundred or something, which is like way cheaper than like usually it's like 1,000 or 2. I don't know, but like it's way cheaper, and you still kind of get that experience, and it's over this winter break, so you can definitely look into that if it's still a thing.
All right. So obviously in the summer, you can always study for your MCAT. Obviously, that's not as appealing as the other programs and exciting things like traveling and whatnot. But that could be an option for you. Obviously, Kaplan and Princeton are the more famous company courses that you can look into. Obviously, there's other programs that you can also look into, but these are the main ones that most college students do. I know in the past, Princeton had a in-person classroom experience that you could have taken. Obviously, we don't know if that will be the case again this summer or in any other semesters. And it's not just in the summer; they also do it throughout the semesters. And obviously, there's an online course that you can also take, where you get almost pretty much the same resources, except like the in-person experience. Kaplan, I can't attest too much to, but I'm sure they have their own versions. It's just a different company. So we'll talk actually more about MCAT, and obviously we talked a lot about MCAT already with our first MCAT workshop and last month's meeting with our panel. But this Saturday we also have another MCAT workshop where we talk about resources, scheduling, planning like that. And there's also another program called from Connecticut. It's a 6-week program, housing and stipend available. Obviously, it's going to be online, but it's open. If you guys want to check that out, check the link out. It's for anyone who's studying for the MCAT, and it's basically like an MCAT boot camp. If that's something you're interested in, and I'm sure there's other universities and that have similar programs if you want to look into it. All right.
Okay. So for volunteer programs at hospitals, so you have to keep in mind that most of these are going to be non-clinical. So you're just going to be helping staff organize things or help patients, but it's still a really great opportunity for you to learn what goes on in a hospital. So these are some of the programs. Baylor Scott White has one, Parkland and Methodist Richardson, which are all year round. So far, I've gone through the websites and I haven't seen if they stopped taking in. I used to be a volunteer for Methodist Richardson, but the last time I heard from them, they weren't taking any, but I'm not sure. I put the link for Methodist. You can go on the website and their application is still open. They haven't closed it. So you can always call them and ask. There's also Texas Children's Hospital, which I just checked, and they are closed. They're not taking any applications right now. Presby is going to be you can either apply for the DOPE program, which is non-clinical, or you can do the SURF program, which was mentioned a few slides back, where you get to volunteer and also shadow. Scottish Rite, I just checked, I was on the website and they changed it from May and August that you can volunteer, and the application for that is going to be April 1st. And yeah, so as mentioned, like I said before, you're going to get clinical experience, but personally, me volunteering at hospital, I've gained a lot of experience that, you know, you get to know what happens behind the scenes. And just because you aren't shadowing a doctor doesn't mean it's going to be helpful. I've really learned that you know, knowing, because I've seen a lot of times that physicians become frustrated in their clinical setting when things aren't happening. But if you're a volunteer, you get to see that the nurses are moving nonstop, the ER techs are moving nonstop, that the cleaning people are moving nonstop, and you know, it gives you a better understanding what happens behind the scenes. So I feel like it's a really good opportunity to do these kind of things as a pre-med.
Adding on to that, I volunteered at the Medical City of Plano, which is very close to campus. It's about a 10-minute drive. So when I was there, I did that like the summer before my freshman year, all the way until like my sophomore year. So I did a good amount of hours there. And even though it was just basic volunteering, obviously at a hospital, when you just first start out, there's not much you can do. Like Luis was saying, I worked at the front desk where you kind of escort visitors, look up patients, make deliveries to their rooms, do discharges. Obviously, discharges were fun because you get to bring out the wheelchair, go to the room, and take them out. And you get to interact with them and their experience at the hospital. And then I also volunteered at one of the floors, at the cardio floors. And basically, once again, because you're just a undergrad student, they obviously don't let you do much. But you know, I got to go, you know, go to each room, interact with the patients, restock their whatever they needed, and if I was done with that, I would interact with the nurses. And I actually got to interact with one of the technicians there who was monitoring all the heart rates. So even though it was very, I guess, on the less intensive things that you can do, I still gain a lot of experience just observing all the staff members, interacting with each other, talking with the other staff. So, you know, because Medical City Plano is very close, that might be something you might consider. Once again, because of COVID, they might have changed that. But once that's done, if you are considering something and you want something nearby, not intensive, that's something you can consider.
So I wanted to add that when I started my freshman year, I didn't really know like what experiences I wanted to gain. And so the very first thing that I did was apply to volunteer at a hospital. And honestly, it was such low commitment. They only wanted me to do like 4 hours a week. And I did that up to my senior year. And so imagine how many weeks I did. And so if you do something like that where it's low commitment, you can really build up your hours, and you can like build connections, and you could really meet a lot of great people. So if you don't know really what to do, I think that starting off in a hospital is like probably one of the best things you could do, because if you feel like you're doing nothing, like you're at least doing something, until like as the years go on, everything just slowly comes together. You start research if you would like, you start other volunteer opportunities, you start shadowing. So that was very like the baseline, you know, for me is volunteering at a hospital. And yeah.
All right. Now for the internships, basically, I'm just going to give you advice on how you need to prepare to be able to apply for the internships. The first thing you want to focus on is on a targeted resume, and you want to make sure you outline the most important things that you have experienced on, or maybe the courses you have taken that's related to the internship that you're applying for. Most of the internships that I know, they ask for a cover letter. So you want to make sure that your resume has a shape that you can include a cover letter so it can support your resume. And you want to make sure you do your research on the roles, the programs, and the employers that the internship is providing for you, so that you can show your interest and you can show how passionate you are about this internship. I understand that it is hard to have in-person networking right now, but all of the programs, they are trying to make everything as virtual as possible. So make sure you attend the events or try to reach out the organizer or the people who are in charge. Keep asking how you can go about applying for the internship, or what are the things that they're offering right now. If there's anything you can help with, just make sure you keep that in networking in touch, even when the COVID is going on. Make sure you stand out from the other people who are applying for this internship. And then at the end, most of the internships have a link. So you wanna fill out the program and include your resume and everything. But if you found an interesting internship and you didn't find the link, feel free to find the email of the organizer, introduce yourself professionally, go about to tell them you're an undergraduate, where you're going, what your plan is, probably a pre-med, and include your resume and explain to them you're interested in this internship for these reasons, and let them know and ask them how you can go about applying for this internship, or if they are looking for someone at the moment. Some of the websites that can help a lot is the UTD Career Center. I personally use that a lot. It helps you with building resume. It can be about internship, volunteering, or anything else, even jobs. They have different branches that it can help you with. They have people who are expertise in these subjects. They also have some branches about interviewing. They can help you with that. They can help you find an internship that goes with your interests. They help you research or provide you links where you can find what you're looking for. Another good website is the JSON Career Management Center. If you later open that website, you can see that they have different tabs, and they provide from finding an internship, like to know internship is not a scam or it's the right internship for to what I'm from an undergrad is that they have a timeline for each semester. So there's a higher chance of you getting accepted to that internship. I found that very useful. And some of the apps or the applications that you can use to strengthen your application is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is pretty famous by now. What I think is very great is that since you can't put everything in a one-page resume, you can include your other experiences in LinkedIn, and you can just put your LinkedIn ID in your resume so they can check out all the experiences, all the things you have done so far. UTD also uses Handshake. That's a great opportunity too. Both of these also help you have a great networking and get in touch with the things that you have interest in. They show you updates and some other job boards that can help you find your interested internship are Indeed, Monster, Glassdoor, and other things.
I just wanted to add real quick that the UTD Career Center is like super helpful. I've only used them once, and it was my freshman year. And I think I went to them freshman year because I was just like concerned that like I had nothing on my resume like all freshmen do. And I just didn't know if I was still allowed to put high school stuff or at what point you need to stop putting high school stuff. There's just a lot of uncertainties as a freshman in college. So they really helped me with like kind of building a more college oriented resume than Yeah, and they also like gave me a really good resume template. So and I still use it to this day, and it's been really helpful. And also on Handshake, I've noticed that like it's so easy to apply to stuff. Like a lot of things they've like some of them don't even require a resume. Like it's insane. And some of them only require a resume. Like you don't even have to fill anything out because they already have a lot of your basic information because like it's kind of like linked to UTD. So it's like super easy to like just like in like an hour you could apply to like so many different things. I mean, that doesn't mean you'll get it, but like at least your application is out there, you know? And then for like Indeed and Glassdoor and stuff, like back when I was looking for a job for scribing, I like did a bunch of searches on there, and I still to this day get a bunch of emails about scribing positions that are open and stuff. So if you're interested in being a scribe, like definitely look on those websites. Like you don't have to go through a company such as Scribe America because you know while they're a good company, but like it takes them a long time to get back to you. I've noticed like people have told me like, oh, I submitted it like months ago and I still haven't received anything. So definitely like if you use these websites like Indeed and Glassdoor, then you can apply to like private practices and stuff that they don't use like a company. So yeah, that's just it.
Something else I want to add is like Radha was saying, you know, as a freshman, it's really, you really don't know what to put on. Honestly, even as a senior, it's really confusing because as a pre-med, you don't think about resumes or LinkedIn's or Career Center because that seems more like, you know, JSON, like we have it here. But you know, it kind of helps to obviously when you apply for scribing and other jobs on campus, like one of the SSC jobs or in SSB at the front desk or anything like that. So stuff like that, that's helpful. But managing and keeping up your resume updated kind of helps you also constantly think about what you're doing, and it helps you kind of prepare when you apply for medical school. Obviously, instead of a resume, you have to have a whole application with every single activities. So it's not on the same scale, but it still helps you kind of get some kind of start. And yeah, and like Radha was saying, the Career Center is really helpful for lots of things, especially if when you're unsure about your major and you're unsure about pre-med, you can ask them what jobs are out there for my major, whether it's like research or other healthcare jobs. They can kind of give you a guide on what to expect. And yeah, obviously they help with resume building or writing. And there's another place called the Comm Center with the SSC, and that they help you with like interviews, obviously medical school interviews as well as regular interviews. And they kind of record you, and you can see what your speech or whatnot. And the Career Center also does some practice interview sessions as well. But yeah. All right, so speaking of scribing, I'll talk about my experience, and then some other officers have their own experience too. So I scribed with ProScribe, and I applied right before I started my junior year. And I was actually really lucky because when I applied, the whole application kind of really took within a week. When I applied, someone emailed me back within like 2 days, and they told me to do like a video interview. And there's a series of videos, recorded videos. They give you the prompt, and you just do the interview through a video. After that, a couple more days, someone called me on the phone and asked me for like availability and like location wise. So I was very pleasantly surprised with that process, but it really depends on the timing, like beginning of summer or end of summer. Like you have to choose like between semesters and seasons because that's when most people like quit or stop doing that. So it really depends. Obviously, your location and the company also might depend, and obviously the hospital and like the method you choose to look for these positions. So that was the process of getting the position, getting scribing. As far as my actual experience, it really depends on what hospital you go to. The one I went to was in Denton, which was an hour away from UTD, and I had class exactly 1 hour before my shift started. So right after my class ended, I had to drive an hour and just barely make it on time. And then I had a shift for the next 6 hours, and it was late at night. And then I had to drive an hour back to my house, and it was like super late. And by that time, you're so exhausted. It's really hard to do homework or study for anything. So most scribing places make you do at least like 2 shifts, and they can last like 6 hours, 8 hours, or 12 hours even, um, depending on the hospital and their policies. So make sure you take all that into account before you commit to it, and make sure you have time. Because when I did it, I also had my peer tutoring job, which was another couple of hours. So altogether, I had with my 2 jobs, like I was basically doing more than like part-time work in my junior year. And junior year is when classes also get hard. So I was really burnt out. Granted, it was not the best semester to start, but I really wanted that experience. And um, after a while, I decided uh, I got enough experience, and this is I would rather focus on something else. And so I left that. So it was still a really good experience. I think once again, the hospital I was working with, it was Baylor in a really remote emergency center. Um, and I feel like most emergency centers, if you ever worked at it or volunteered at it, there's very slow times and there's very rapid times. So it's kind of like it's a give and take. So you never know what you're gonna get. But I think if you're volunteering with a more like hospital kind of setting and not remote emergency center, it might be a little bit more balance. Um, but the thing I learned from scribing is obviously the medical terminology and the patient charts. It's called electronic medical records, the EMR. So you know how to do all the little boxes and everything. So that really helped getting the other aspect of understanding what goes on in a hospital and what doctors do, because we're going to have to do it as ourselves, and having a scribe just helps a lot with you know um, the clerical stuff, and like the point of scribing is to make like to fast track that process and see more patients and to alleviate some of the pressures doctors have. um, so like I said, overall it was a very good experience, but you it is very intensive sometimes, and you have to be really quick, and it could be very you could really struggle with it if you have a lot of other things going on besides scribing. So that was my experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with Shri. I scribe through DocAssist, and their link is on this slide. I was working in the emergency departments at Medical City Plano and Medical City Dallas. Medical City Dallas is actually a level 1 trauma center, so very high acuity cases. And, you see some crazy stuff there for sure. Like I've seen people like die in front of me, and like I truly think like in my undergrad career so far, scribing has been the most valuable thing I've done, because I have learned so much. I don't scribe anymore. I got furloughed because of Corona, but it was really good while I was doing it. But I would, excuse me, I would say, yeah, it's extremely intensive. I've had my fair share of breakdowns with scribing. We had to work 10-hour shifts. So my shifts would usually be 2 p.m. to midnight. But I have had some shifts that end at 4 a.m. I've had shifts that end at 6 a.m. and I have to go to class at 9 a.m. Doc assist, because I was working with such like big hospitals, one of them being a level 1 trauma center, like, you know, they expect a lot out of you, and, you know, the excuse of like, oh, but I'm in school. Well, everyone's in school, you know? So definitely, you know, you have to be ready for the workload, especially if it's a big company. I will say that smaller clinics, I think, are a lot more understanding probably, because they don't have, and I'm sure like during the shift, they have a lot more downtime. I really, like, some days I didn't even have time to eat. So it definitely was a difficult experience, but I am so glad I went through it. So I recommend everyone to do it.
So currently I scribe with Acuity Solutions, which I actually found out through my friend because I had never heard of them, since they are a virtual scribing company. The application process was as any scribing application process. I filled it out and a recruiter had reached out to me within like less than a week. The training though took a while, but I was able to get through because I have a lot of prior knowledge and experience from other clinical experience that I've had previously. Also, classes such as anatomy, medical neuroscience, and medical terminology genuinely allowed me to excel through. So I actually scribe a physician in an optometry clinic in North Carolina, and my experience with virtual shadowing, I mean, oh my gosh, I keep saying shadowing, sorry, scribing, has been similar to anything that you would experience with like in person. The tasks or duties that you're expected to perform are the same. So as goes for everything, there are pros and cons, but I think the biggest thing about virtual scribing, which appealed to me, was the fact that I could sit in the comfort of my HIPAA compliant workspace, aka my room, and perform the same tasks as would an in-person medical scribe. So it allows for a more genuine interaction also for the parents, the patients, and the physician without the presence of a scribe in the room. So personally, for me, another thing is that the only issue that I had in this whole process, which like the con of scribing, is that I had to sit in one place the whole time. And I'm a person who constantly needs movement. I need to get up and do stuff. So that was my biggest struggle. But other than that, everyone has their own experiences. But that's been my experience so far, and I've been enjoying it.
Something else I want to mention that's not really describing and we haven't mentioned before is I volunteered with a free clinic in Plano, and it was probably my favorite clinical experience because free clinics, you see a variety of patients. Obviously, because they don't have insurance, you have to deal with them a little bit differently. You have to be more understanding. Paperwork is also really necessary. It's also very busy. It's also very crowded. There's only certain times, and then everyone's volunteering, even the doctors. So it's really a unique experience that I've been fortunate enough to experience that. So if you can, I would really suggest in the future looking for a free clinic to volunteer at and sticking with it, because I've stuck with it for about a year, and I've really gotten to know all the volunteers, the doctors, and I've even got to do a little bit of the front desk stuff, so more of the administrative stuff, scanning documents, insurance, and stuff like that. Working with the pharmacy. So it's a really unique experience. And like you guys, whenever you guys look for these programs, make sure, like don't think you only have to go for the ones that everyone's doing. Look for outside ones. and unique ones because they really give you a more well-rounded approach that you probably didn't think you would learn from it, but you actually end up really gaining a lot of experiences from that. And it doesn't really matter if it's a well-known program or if no one has heard of it, as long as it's been really meaningful for you and you can talk about it in your application, your essays, interviews. As long as it meant something for you, then it's obviously valuable. And also, if you do it for an extended period of time, I would say at least 6 months. Because if you do like 20 programs and they all lasted like a month, that doesn't look good. So make sure you're sticking with it. Obviously, hopefully you're doing a program because you're passionate about it and not just because it looks good. And maybe that, like that, I guess that's fair because you might think, okay, I'm a pre-med, I need so and so. But once you actually get into the program, make sure you are enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, try to get out as soon as possible because you're only hurting yourself. And if, especially if you're not enjoying it and you're with patients or you're working with professionals and you come in every day or every week with a negative mindset, then that's only gonna hurt everyone else. So make sure you do a program that you're really interested in, and if it doesn't work out, just look for another opportunity. And yeah. All right. Does anyone have any questions, or do you guys want us to go back to any other slides? Okay. If there are no questions, as always, you can talk to us on GroupMe. Whichever officer talked about individual programs and their experience. If you want more information on how to get started, just contact us on GroupMe or obviously our email and all other social media that's posted on the slide right now. Yeah.
And I just wanted to add, if you need access to any link or interest form which you may have missed, be sure to access our link tree, which is also in our Instagram bio.
The PowerPoint is going to be posted on the website later too. So if you want to get there too.
Yeah, the PowerPoint is always posted on the following Monday's email as well as our website. And of course, on our YouTube channel, it's always there if you want to go back and listen to what we actually said. And yes, Jessica, this is our sign-in form right now.
Hey guys, so first I wanted to say thank you for attending our last meeting of the semester, but it's not over yet. Next semester we will have more meetings for sure. So stay tuned for more updates and yeah. And this is the sign-in link, but I do have a question. Are y'all able to access it? Because I don't think they're able to access it for some reason.
Let me see if I can try linking it again.
I tried it with the QR code and it worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like 10 people requested access, so I don't know. I was wondering. Okay, good. I'm hoping y'all can just fill out the form.
Can you try to put the link in on GroupMe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me
maybe I
do
can
that.
access it because I'm logged into the MD account.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
I'm trying.
So while we get that figured out, just as a reminder again, this is our last and final meeting, general meeting, but we have other programs that's still continuing. So keep a lookout on for that. We'll be back obviously next semester with all new meetings, different topics. But yeah, so just stay in touch with us, keep reading our emails, and we'll see you guys next semester.
So the link is not working. I'm gonna fix it and then put it in the GroupMe. So.
All right. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys next semester.
Wait, Sri, can I take a picture
yeah,
for Instagram? Okay. I don't know how to get everybody on here, but
Oh, just
can I change the format? Like,
yeah, just go to gallery and you can minimize the PowerPoint. Well, you can't get everyone, but maybe you can take
wait,
two
let me see
screens.
meeting settings. Okay, it's just gonna be like a few people, I guess. Unless if it shows up on somebody else's laptop, I guess.
You can try like unsharing the screen and then go to like gallery view or something.
What if I turn it this way? Nope, doesn't do anything. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, smile. Okay.
All right. Yeah, Jessica, yeah. Whoever still has virtual shouting certificates, if you guys want to start sending those in, you guys can, and we'll get those MD points in.
Oh, can you check my work really quick?
Sorry? Okay. All right. So I think that's it. So we'll see you guys next year or next semester.